get you a little something, wishing it were just a little something more. But every penny is already spoken for.
Christmas tree care. Hey, good people, that's what we're going to be talking about today, is what are the best practices for keeping your tree fresh through the holiday season. Primarily, we have three options. We have artificial, of course. We have fresh cut, which we typically get at the tree lot. And of course, we have living trees, which we get at our local nursery that make excellent Christmas trees and give you the opportunity to enjoy them for years to come. So let's talk about the best varieties for you and your area. Let's talk about how to take them from the tree lot into your home and fresh. Let's talk about some options like flocking. Let's learn a little bit about the grow process and the history. Let's just have fun with it. In my opinion, firs are absolutely the best Christmas tree. I grew up with noble firs and Douglas firs, and the reason firs are so nice is almost as the name implies, they're soft. They're easy to work with, and the foliage is very kind to the touch. Some of the more common varieties are typically firs, Fraser firs, Douglas fir, alpine firs. There are also pines, Austrian pines, bristlecone pines, yes, even bristlecone pines, pinyon pines, white pines, and Vanderwolf pines. Look at this grand fir. It has some silver under the underside of the leaf, and you can see here that the Nordmann is very much the same way. So whether you're going for a dark green look, the subalpine and the alpine firs are kind of fun because they have a little bit more of that Charlie Brown tree spacing with real nice lateral branches in between. So you want to work a lot of decorations in between. This is a great tree to go with. Well, I just love these Nordmanns. I mean, that silver. Now remember, these noble firs, Douglas fir, a lot of these trees that are grown in the field, they have been shaped into this conical shape. They've been sheared over the years to give them this nice form. And this is the idyllic Christmas tree. One of the things to remember as well is that these have been growing out in the open, and you're going to want to make sure that you get a good cleaning off, and whether you tap the tree or in some cases some of the lots will have a shaker, and they will shake the tree and get all the debris that's in the interior out of the tree. You want to get the needles cleaned off of these, you just give this a good tamp a couple times on the ground and you're in pretty good shape. One of the things to be aware of when you go to the tree lot and you get a fresh cut tree is fresh cut may be as far back as the beginning of November, end of October. Now remember, the base of your trees, since they were cut at the growers, are going to seal up. So you're going to want a fresh cut. And they typically can do that for you at the Christmas tree lot. It would be better if you did it just before you put the tree up in your home and it goes into water. But make a fresh cut, do a couple of inches so that you get a real nice area where the water is going to be able to be taken up by the tree. If you're in an arid, dry region like we are, once that tree goes in the house, boy, it just gobbles up that water like crazy. Don't let it dry out. Keep that water coming. Now, when it comes to living trees, there's just typically a cornucopia of conifers that you can use as Christmas trees. This is kind of fun because that means that you can take this tree and incorporate it into your landscape after you've enjoyed it as a Christmas tree. So you can see that there is everything from the spruces, the pines, we've got any number of spruces, we even have some cedars in here. You can really be creative when it comes to the tree that you choose, a living tree for your landscape that can also be your Christmas tree, and you can continue to enjoy that tree for the rest of its life and probably yours. Here's one of our successful trees that enjoyed Christmas and is now living in the landscape. Of course, remember, you want to observe all the standard planting practices of putting your landscape tree and caring for it. As you can see, this one here to my right also enjoyed Christmas indoors, and now it's gotten to be a pretty good sized tree as a result of ongoing care. And this is a wonderful way to celebrate Christmas and life and have it continue to live on. You know, it's kind of fun. It's almost like detective work trying to figure out where the tradition of the Christmas tree came from. And there's plenty of claims. We see any number of cultures that have brought in trees and other evergreen vegetation during the winter months to remind them of the hope of spring. And the Christmas tree, pretty much in America, was an outgrowth of the tradition in Germany of decorating and bringing an evergreen into the house. Of course, that came over to the royals of Great Britain, and then we saw what they were doing, and we had to do it, and there's any number of traditions. Please comment and share some of the traditions that you're familiar with and that you know from history, and the ones that you do, like me and my tradition in my family of flocking the tree. But when you consider all the traditions, what really matters most is what it means to you now. That's all that's important, is what does the tree and the festivities and the gifts and the lights and the decorations, what does it all mean to you, and what traditions do you build? Well, here's a rather unique Christmas tree. This has a codominant trunk. So it's kind of two Christmas trees for the price of one, except you're not going to separate them. That is very unique. Hey, thanks again for following along, and who knows, maybe next week we'll talk about some more fun traditions for the holiday season. We have the winter solstice coming up very shortly, the shortest day of the year, and there are some great traditions around Yule and the holly and oak king.